introduction to Moodle and the partner program. So give applause to Mr. Max Espley.
Hello everyone, good morning.
Morning.
Firstly, I really just want to say thank you very, very much for having me here today. It's a real honour to be part of the inaugural MoodleMoot in Indonesia. So there's lots of people to thank, but a big thank you to PCN and their co-sponsors for putting on these 2 days. I think it promises to be a fantastic couple of days. And I'm very grateful and excited to be part of this. Just got a few slides actually. I can see I'm same seat in this picture. I do have more than one seat. Yeah, so really, in this presentation, I really want to give you a bit of an introduction. An introduction to me, a bit of an introduction to Moodle, because I appreciate some of you in the audience will be very familiar with Moodle, some of you may not. I also want to talk about the partner program, which is what I'm very much involved in, and of course to refer that to PCN, particularly doing that's what I do, some of the great stuff they're doing. And this is all before passing on to my esteemed colleague, Achour, who is our global head of product, and she's going to be talking about the Moodle product vision. So that's really the main course. I'm just going to give you a bit of an introduction. So who am I? Well, this is me. I am the Moodle APAC and Canada channel manager. So just to confuse a little bit, I look after all countries in Asia and Australasia, so going all the way from Australia to Indonesia, India, Thailand, Philippines, etc., and Canada as well, which sits quite comfortably there as well. So yeah, I'm responsible for implementing, managing Moodle's partner program in my specific region. I look after 16 partners in total across APAC and Canada. I'm part of a team of 8, including 3 other channel managers. We have 2 in EMEA, that's Europe, Middle East and Africa. I think the thing to say about Europe is a very big area for partners. There's probably twice as many partners in Europe as there are in the other sort of major regions. And we also have a channel manager in LATAM covering Central America and South America. So that's 71 partners in total. And I should add, so I should have said at the very beginning, I'm actually based in Singapore. So, you know, for me this is just a stone's throw away, so not too far, just an hour and a half away. Yeah, so where do partners sit in the Moodle ecosystem? Well, I just wanted to begin by focusing on the heart of the Moodle ecosystem, which is our Moodle LMS, our learning management system, which is the world's most trusted and customizable LMS in the world, which empowers educators to improve our world. A few more things to say about it. You know, it's we've got over 400 million users, so it's really, really well used. 2 out of 3 universities in the world use Moodle in some capacity. And actually, sorry, and apologies if this is obvious that you know this, but we're actually originally an Australian company, just for your information. So we have we have sort of very high profile in Australia. And then if you look under this kind of, if you look at the LMS as sort of like the head, I mean, I think actually sort of other things to say, sorry, just for those who are less au fait, less familiar with our LMS. It's open source, so all of the code, everything that's sort of created can be used and reused ad infinitum. It's also highly scalable, so it can be used in sort of quite large, you can create quite large LMSs with thousands of users. also secure, also highly customizable, also integrates easily into other systems. Sorry if I'm sounding a bit salesy, but that's sort of my job. And it is sort of, I really want to get across some of these USPs to maybe some of you who are a little bit less familiar with Moodle coming here for the first time. So yes, under our LMS we have the certified service providers, so that's our partners. And these guys really, their skill is creating a Moodle for an institution or an organisation that's really customisable, it's really sort of customised to their needs, so really specific to what they want to achieve. And alongside that, we've got Moodle Cloud. That's really our ready-to-go offering, if you like. That's available on a subscription basis, and tends to suit sort of smaller users, smaller numbers of users. We also have the Moodle Academy. That's our learning hub, and that's where you could have courses on various things, whether it's administration, development, design, etc. Anything kind of like to do with Moodle. Moving over to the products, I just want to briefly mention these as well. So Moodle Workplace is actually our corporate offering, and that is very popular within the corporate arena because it's multi-tenancy. So basically that ensures that it can be used in a number of different threads. So you may want to have, say, like a research and development thread versus a sales and marketing thread. You can kind of like you can create these threads for different departments within your organisation. It's also really big on compliance and reporting and onboarding. So sorry, perhaps less relevant to you guys today. I do appreciate you're all coming from the educators thing, but just useful to know nonetheless. And we have our Moodle app as well, which is, as the name suggests, Moodle on the go. MoodleNet, which is our global network of shared resources. And one thing that's kind of missing from this slide, if you can kind of imagine another line going down there, is Moodle.org. And Moodle.org is very much the sort of the community side of Moodle, and that's where you find out information about our forums, our webinars, and events like this, and events like the events like the Indonesian Moot. So we've got, that's all available there, and please, if you haven't had a look, and apologies if I'm saying the obvious, but please do take a look at Moodle.org, because there's such a wealth of information there. Just briefly sort of want to talk about what partners do. Well, our partners are certified education technology companies. They're all very experienced in using Moodle, and they've worked on fairly high profile projects. I think the main thing to say about them is that they're really solution providers. So they really go out and talk to institutions, organisations, work out what they need, and then deliver. So that's really kind of like the sort of the fundamental role. They certainly support institutions and organisations through transitions taking place in universities, etc., or whether they're upscaling. And then getting down to the nitty-gritty, they'll help with customizations, integrations, course design, hosting, etc. So they'll help with some of the specifics involved. And they very much keep to sort of our very high standards in customer service and technical capability. But the point I really want to make about the partners is that they actually also bring in revenue, which is vital for Moodle going forward. You know, a percentage of all money that partners make goes straight back into Moodle, goes straight back into improving Moodle. Unless we forget, you know, also any kind of technical developments from partners like PCMan, from partners across the globe, go back into Moodle as well. So any kind of plugin that's being created, it all goes back in. And just a quick note, I've mentioned premium partners here. See them as kind of like more experienced partners, maybe who've been just working with Moodle that bit longer, perhaps have bigger, slightly higher revenue streams, have done even more with the community. But that's always something for partners to aim for. Just a list of all our partners here. I'm sure the of you in the audience may see there's quite a few arrows pointing to PC Man, because obviously I wanted to draw attention to PC Man today. But what I really want to say here is that our partners across APAC are a real mix. Some are very large, some are very small. Catalyst, for example, at the top there, they've got even more employees than Moodle. They've probably got double our staff. We've also got very small partners like Nomad. Nomad are just a husband and wife team. So they really are kind of like, they vary in terms of size and skills and origins. Human Science, for example, is very involved with translation work. Other partners also have a sort of a big impact on content, like My Learning Space in Australia and Dynamic Pixel in India. And just a little bit of a map, just to show you where they all are. Yes, I've included Canada. Just pretend Canada's in Asia for today, just to make my life easier. So we've got 3 partners in Canada, 3 in Australia, 3 in Japan, 2 in New Zealand, 1 in the Philippines, 2 in Taiwan, 2 in India, 1 in Bangladesh, 1 in Thailand, 1 in Vietnam, 1 in Singapore, and 1 in Indonesia, 1 here in Jakarta, PC Man. Why should you choose PC Man to partner with? I think it's really fair to say they've grown quite a lot in the last 12 months. They've in fact tripled their work, tripled their revenue in the last 12 months. They're also incredibly committed to Moodle. I mean, I think the most obvious thing to say in that is they're organising this Moot today and hosting the inaugural Moot shows real commitment. And I'm really, really proud of the fact they've done that. And I'm really proud actually of the fact they've done it in such a short space of time. And also I want to mention their new hosting service as well, which kind of really shows a commitment. This is really going to help medium-sized customers, say, whether it's between 500 and 1,000 users. This could be really useful for them. It's going to reduce the costs. Such enterprises will have their own space in terms of hosting, and it's going to open up new possibilities, things like single sign-on and more analytics. So this is a really, really great initiative. So if you haven't already, do talk to Pony, Jewel, and Jocko, etc., the team about any of that in the next couple of days. I also really want to highlight their collaboration work. They've done some fantastic stuff with EduTech Asia in 2002. And I know they work very closely with the PhilaWeb in the Philippines on existing opportunities. So they're really strong on collaboration, which is exactly what we want to see in the partner program. So you might not be able to see all of these, but I also want to highlight their diverse audience. Just a few examples for you, just to show their depth. Universitas Yasi, Sekolah Citra Berkat, which is a high school. Please excuse my pronunciation. United Tractors, who are part of Astra, Bus and Auto Finance, and Great Noosa, who are also sponsors here today, and I know run various moots. So do please talk to them while you're here over the next couple of days. Do please talk about any kind of concerns, any customizations, any interests you've got. And sorry, I'm going to keep plugging you, PC Man, but this is like an example I wanted to bring up, which is Telkom University. I think this is a great example of work they've done. Telkom University, as I understand it, is a fairly large institution in Jakarta, I think fairly new, and they're really kind of focused on research and entrepreneurship and the use in science, technology and arts based on information technology. I know they've got really high numbers, so like 32,000 students in total, and also before PC Man got involved, they had a pre-existing schools information system called iGracias. Again, I hope I've got the pronunciation right. And basically, PC Man came in and sort of made this all happen. Really, they're responsible for integrating the systems. And as a result of that now, I know the process for enrolment is much smoother, as is the process for grading. There's also it's kind of like opened up hybrid learning, which is obviously sort of a crucial factor for any institution. But above all, it's really kind of given Telecom University more confidence to develop their business globally. So I think this is just an achievement I just really wanted to highlight today, just to show you the sort of things that PC Man can do. And here's a lovely couple of photos. So just going back to what I was saying in the previous slide, it was awesome to have Pony over to my hometown, Singapore, for the Edutech Asia last year. You can see a picture of us all looking very happy here in front of the MBS, and some excellent collaboration with eLearning Co in Japan and Philweb in the Philippines. So that's really it. I think I've probably overshot, but if there's any quick questions, no, I'm up. But maybe we can come back to that at another stage. Really what's left for me to do now is to introduce my colleague, Maria Shaw, who is our global head of product. And I'm delighted she's here today, but not least actually because I know Marie's been travelling loads lately. Please consider that, because she's come from Barcelona to Perth and then back here again. So she's looking bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. So I'll give you Maria Shaw.
Hello everyone. Just give it a second to get my slides up. Hello, hello. It's nice to see you all. As Max was saying, I arrived from Perth at the bright and sunshiny hour of 6 a.m. yesterday morning, and then I had to wait for Max to arrive at the airport. So I know Terminal 3 at the Jakarta airport incredibly well. Very good restaurants. And we leave tomorrow, so it's a quick visit. That's me. I was in Morocco in this photo, on holidays. We'll just give it one more second when you're ready, guys. Okay, thank you very much. So, before I get started, I do have a question for the audience. You will potentially notice that it doesn't say MoodleMoot Indonesia 23 on here, it says MoodleMoot Global 23. And as Max said, we just came home, both of us, him to Singapore and me back to Perth, from Barcelona. I came home on Friday, actually, last week. And that's because we were all in Barcelona to do what we call our annual global MoodleMoot event. So imagine an event like this, but for the entire globe. And there was over 700 people there. They came from over 56 different countries. We had something like 50 different speakers from about 26 different countries. And what I'm going to present to you today is a very similar presentation to the one I gave at the Global Moot, because it's brand new. It includes all of the most recent content. So before I start, I want to see, was anybody here in this room, were you at the Global Moot? No, good. Because or else I would have said, go have a coffee. So there we go. Okay, there we go. So, before I really get into things, I do really want to take a minute to say thank you so very much. I know that many of you have traveled to be here. You've conquered the traffic. You've taken some time off work. And also thank you so much to the sponsors for the event and the organizers for the event. I know you put in an incredible amount of work. And we're very humbled by that, the fact that you're making the time to be here. And I'm going to very much do my best to make it worth your while and provide you with some really good updates on what's going on in the world of Moodle and, importantly, where we're taking Moodle for the future. But before we get started, I haven't had the chance to meet very many of you, so I thought I'd start us off with a little bit about me. Just some things about me, 3 things about me specifically. So firstly, as Max explained, I am a product manager by trade, a software development product manager, and I'm also the global head of product for Moodle HQ. So what does that actually mean? The Moodle HQ product team comprises of about 80 different people, and we include UX designers, UX researchers, software developers, DevOps specialists, integrators, and testers. And together with our Moodle community developers, we build Moodle LMS, our online open source, most trusted and most used in the world learning management solution. The Moodle mobile applications, which allow you to tap into the power of Moodle from the phone in your pocket. We look after Moodle Workplace, which is our corporate version of Moodle LMS, which is designed specifically to meet the needs of workplaces. Moodle Cloud, which Max explained a little bit earlier, our more basic solution that's available as a software as a service subscription service for smaller institutions or individual users who have more limited needs in terms of what they want to do with Moodle. And very importantly, the Moodle community. And you are all part of that Moodle community where we host Moodle.org, our Moodle Academy courses, and help support people who want to host Moodle Moots like this one as well. So day to day, I do product management. And what that means is, as a product practitioner, is my job is to effectively identify problems that are out there in the world that people have, whether they're trying to learn online or teach online. And then we work to build software solutions that help solve those problems. At Moodle Products, we use a technique which we call product discovery and product delivery. So in the discovery phase, what we do is we establish a number of hypotheses. These hypotheses are assumed problems. We think that people are having a hard time doing this thing. We think it's too hard for educators to grade assignments, and we should be able to do that better in an online context. And then we test those hypotheses. And we collect all these problems, by the way, in many, many different ways. But if you're an experienced Moodler developer, you might know about the Moodle Tracker. Moodle Tracker is where you can raise an issue on Moodle and have our developers fix that for you. We have forums on Moodle.org, and then we talk to a whole bunch of people all the time about how they use Moodle. And that's where we collect all our problems that we then test through our hypothesis. Once we've validated that we've picked the right problems to solve, that the problem we think people are having is a real problem, we do a concept of ideation. And that's where we come up with all of the different ideas that allow us to say, hey, what if we did this? What if we change the way the grading process works here in this way? Would that make it easier for educators to actually grade? And we do, this is the fun part, because we try things out. We invite people to look at our prototypes. We see, should we put the button this felt? Should we move it that way? If it worked this way, would it be easier for people? And we ideate until we get to a point where we believe that we have a good solution. And then from there, we just have to build the thing, right? We build the software. And that's when a lot of the hard work comes in. But it's only half the work. A lot of people, when they think about building software, they think of the developers, but they don't often think about the two phases beforehand, which is asking ourselves what problem to solve and what the best ideas could be to implement those solutions. But we have an amazing bunch of developers at Moodle HQs who are absolute expert at building solutions and software. So our approach in the way that we do this at Moodle HQs is built in a process that we've written up, and it's available in something that we call our product playbook. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this at the very end, because I'd love to share a little bit more about it with you all. So that's it. Product management is all about figuring out what the most valuable thing that we can build in our software are to help people get their jobs done, and drive the outcomes that they want to achieve. That's easy, isn't it? Well, not quite, especially not in a world that is as diverse as Moodle's world. So Moodle serves students, learners, employees, trainers, HR reps, learning designers, teachers, system administrators, developers. We work with corporations, governments, schools, small businesses, and large universities. All of those people and all of those organizations have their own unique set of problems that we have to identify and try and solve. What makes it even more complicated is that Moodle is at once a platform, a product, and a solution. Now, what does that mean? So, for some people, Moodle's just a product. Effectively, it's a packaged piece of software that they access either by logging onto their computer or picking up their phone, and they just want to do stuff with it. They're probably students and they want to see, when their next course is, or a teacher who wants to see if student X has submitted their assignment on time. Hopefully they find that stuff kind of valuable and useful, and for those people, Moodle is just a product. They don't want to have to think about it too much. They want it to be easy. They want it to do what it's supposed to do and just help them get their jobs done. Simple. For a whole other range of people, Moodle is a platform. It's more like an operating system. Those people, they want to see the guts of Moodle. They want to understand how it's developed in the back end. They want to be able to play with it, to add to it, to customize it. For many of those people, actually, Moodle is a way by which they make some money, or it drives their businesses. Whether they're a system administrator in a school and their job is to configure the Moodle for that school, or they're like some of our partners or collaborators who run businesses by helping people install, customize, and host Moodle. Those people see Moodle as a platform, and that there's a lot more complexity, as you can imagine, behind that. But importantly, for all of these people, Moodle becomes an essential part of how they do what they do every day, and they need it to be a tool that they either have to use or want to use to achieve outcomes. And obviously for Moodle, that's all about learning outcomes. Whether you're a student who just wants to get a passing grade, a teacher who's trying to get a little bit of engagement from their learners, an L&D rep who just wants their employees to have the knowledge they need to stay safe at work. Moodle needs to provide solutions to this wide range of organization. So, for us it's a privilege. For Moodle HQ, for the developers of Moodle HQ, it's a privilege that we get to be part of so many different ecosystems and so many different environments. But one of the challenges with that diversity is it can come with quite a lot of complexity. And complexity can lead to a lack of focus. And that's why it's very important for Moodle to have a very clear vision in terms of the things that we want to put into our product solutions, and be very clear about that and share it with the world. And that's actually what most of today's talk is going to be about. I'm going to share with you the future vision for the Moodle product solution. However, before I get to that, I did say it was 3 things about me, and that was only number 1, and I've already been speaking for 10 minutes, so I better hurry up. The other 2 things about me, I believe is something that's called servant leadership. And what that means is effectively I value the ideas of my team members much more than my own. And I believe that our primary purpose is to serve the people that we build our solutions for, which includes all of you guys in the audience. And then another 2 things. I'm a dog bum. I have 2 beautiful dogs. They are my children. I am an avid traveler, so the fact that I now know Jakarta Airport really well makes me super happy. And I'm a child of the 80s, so I am much, much, much younger than I look. So there we go. That is me. But it's very important for us to ensure that we have a Moodle that is with us for 10 years to come. We really have to have a clear strategy for it. And as many of you will know, kind of misquoting Peter Drucker, strategy is just as much about the things that we choose to say no to than it is about the things that we choose to pursue. So when we say no to certain things, sometimes people don't love that. And so that's okay. We've got to be in a point where we make more people happy than less happy. And that's what we try to do. And then the last thing is that you all have the power to shape the future of Moodle. And at the very end of the presentation, I'm going to give you 3 different ways where you can actually do that. So stay tuned for the bits. So basically, that's our plan for today. I'm going to share with you our vision themes, our key development themes for the product development of Moodle. Then I'm going to tell you some things that you might not love to hear. So those are the more hard truth. And then I'm going to leave you with some key takeaways. So that was logistics. Let's get into it. Let's talk about the vision a little bit more. Before we start that though, I do really want to say, sorry? There we go. We do need to start with something a little bit different. Oh. Sorry. Are we back to normal? Wait, there we go. Okay. I wanted to kick us off by sharing with you our Moodle product manifesto. Now, this is a really important part of our vision. It is at the essence of our why we do what we do, why we've taken the decisions that we've taken in terms of our product direction. It is our, as they say in French, raison d'être. I do realize that there are a lot of words on the screen, and maybe if you're at the back, you can't see it all that well, although this is a giant screen, it's beautiful. But I will still read it out loud for you. So, our manifesto. Moodle is a platform that is dedicated to empowering educators, trainers, and learners all around the world. Our goal is to create solutions that make learning accessible to everyone, regardless of their location or financial situation. We want to enable learners to receive personalized learning experiences with creative educational content, easily collaborate with their teachers and peers globally, and achieve outstanding learning outcomes. Our aim is to cultivate a love for learning, fostering a community of lifelong learners who are equipped to succeed in our ever-changing world and active participants in making the world a better place. At Moodle, we envision a future where learning is truly a right and not a privilege, and where everyone has the opportunity to unlock their full potential. That's some pretty meaningful stuff. A very deep purpose behind doing what we do at Moodle. And you do need to keep it in mind when we're going through these themes, because it is the driver for our key decisions. Right, okay, enough. Well, let's get to the 3 development themes. The first one is called unlocking creativity. So that is our first area of focus for the future of Moodle's product development. Now, to get us started on this one, I'd like to show you a couple of amazing Moodle sites. These sites are the winners of a competition that we issued not very long ago, just a few months ago, on Moodle.org. Another good reason to go visit Moodle.org. And the competition was asking people to show the world, what they do with Moodle. And these are the winner and the runner-up of this competition. So the first few Moodles, and you can see here on the right-hand side, that is an instance of Moodle that has been created by a woman called Dunja Speckner. Dunja is a learning content designer who works as part of the Bavarian State Ministry of Education and Culture in Germany. And she creates courses for students in the K-12 sector. So these are school-age children. Mrs. Speckner is an amazing educator, and she teaches, she spends a lot of effort and time ensuring that she creates really easy courses for those young students. And importantly, she makes these courses that are super easy to use in Moodle about things that is quite complicated. I mean, this is for school children learning how to use Python, a software, coding language. I mean, I don't know how to Python, so that's pretty impressive, right? And you can see how clean it is, how easily accessible the Moodle instance is. This is another instance of a course that she's created to teach these students what AI is and why it matters. So, and it's very important I mention, I met with Mrs. Speckner to prepare for these presentations, and she was very clear to me that she's not a developer. She doesn't have to know how to do anything fancy in the coding back end to make these beautiful courses. She uses some of the functionality that is made available to her by the Bavarian Ministry for Education on the platform that they built for Moodle, which they call Beavis. But otherwise, all she's doing is using the functionality that's built into Moodle that allows her to optimize the standard course experience that comes out of the box in Moodle. And she does that by using a tile format, by hiding some headers so that the screen is a little bit lighter and cleaner. And then she embeds interactive activities like H5P directly within the text and media area, which allows the students to really interact with the courses much more intuitively. Anyone looking at Mrs. Spector's courses, and by the way, she draws all this by herself, it's absolutely adorable, would say that these courses are super easy to use. They're really intuitive, especially if you consider it, because they're for very young people. And they're so full of creativity. Now I want to show you another course. This course was created by a man called Stefan Schultz. Stefan works for a company called Be Decent, who does the company does a whole bunch of stuff, including creates Moodle plugins that you can either buy or access via the 2,000 plus plugin database that is available as part of the Moodle ecosystem. And by the way, I do realize both my examples of German countries, and I don't have one from Indonesia, but they just happen to be our competition winners, so I had to go with the flow. So this is a course that Stefan has created. He uses, this course is fully interactive, it's actually super amazing. He uses a theme that is available for sale, which is called the Learning Map theme. Sorry, again the screens. There we go. As I said, the course is fully interactive, so as you travel through the screen, you can click on the different buildings, and then something pops up, and you might need to watch a video or do a little bit of quiz. And as you finish all of that, the back end screen changes, and so the buildings kind of grow and change, indicating to the user that they have learned what they needed to learn and completed all the right activities. And so obviously anyone seeing something like that would say, wow, that's a really modern learning experience. It's very applicable for non-formal courseware. It's just easy to use, and people would say it's a beautifully created course. There is an issue behind that though. And none of them, by the way, are Mrs. Achour or Stephen's issue. There's two issues actually. And the first one is visibility, and the second one is access. And I'll talk to you about those two things. So firstly, this is the kind of feedback that we often get about people who haven't used the most recent version of Moodle in particular. And when they look at it, they say, oh, it's not as easy to use as some modern software usually is. Or it doesn't look as good as it should be. But that's often because people are using either an older version of Moodle, or they don't know enough about what they need to do to make it look as good as the two versions that I showed you before, or they're not working with a partner who can help them customize their like this, which is one of Mrs. Spector's courses, who uses the platform. If everyone could see this, nobody would say that the UX isn't as nice or the user experience isn't as nice as it should be. It's too clean and too good for that to happen. So we've got some work to do, and so part of our vision is to how do we bring this kind of Moodle experience to more people. Then the second issue that we've got with it is that unless you know people like the PC Man people, unless you know a Mrs. Spector, who's really good at using Moodle, unless you have enough access to the technology, to the money that you need, or unless you're technical enough, you might not be able to access the full potential of Moodle. And this is where we come back to our manifesto. When we say that we want to create solutions that make learning accessible to everyone, regardless of their location, or financial situation, or their technical acumen, or their access to talent, we actually mean it. And that's why we're going to be focusing on unlocking creativity. So we're going to be doing that by focusing on a few things. Firstly, we're going to be doing that by optimizing the existing standard course experience in Moodle. What I'm going to show you right now is our old Moodle look and feel. So it's been gone now for more than 12 months. It's version 3.11 of the Moodle software. We released Moodle 4 in April 2022. Yes, that's right. Think about that. And Moodle 4 looks like this. It's a lot cleaner, a lot easier to use. Actually, this is version 4.2 because we release every 6 months a new version of Moodle. As you can see, so much cleaner than the previous version. Maybe we can go back. And now, so much more modern in terms of the look and feel. So we're working a lot to make the UX of Moodle, the user experience that people have, much nicer. I'm going to show you the next one. This is our 4.3 release, which is coming out in October. You can see a lot more flexibility in some of the functionality. You can do more actions directly into the screen. You can access the indents, and there's some indentation allowing you to structure your courseware directly in Moodle much more clearly for your students. And then I'm going to quickly show you a prototype for 4.4. This is hot off the press. There we go. Here you can see, again, more simplification of the look and feel of the course. We've cleaned up the icons, and we've also made them a lot more informative. So when you're looking at the icons, you can tell exactly what it is that you're doing. And this example doesn't show it that well, but we're also going to be introducing the idea of subpages, of subsections within Moodle as well. So by unlocking creativity, that's what we're talking about. We're talking about making the look and feel and the usability of Moodle much easier. So on our roadmap, these are some of the items that we're speaking specifically. The activity card redesign is what I was showing you in terms of making the cards having more features that you can access directly within the activities. We've been improving the gradebook. We know that grading is an incredibly time-consuming part of any educator's life, and so we've been making the gradebook a lot easier to use. The next big ticket off the rank is assignments. We want to make it easier for professors to provide, or teachers to provide feedback to their students on their assignments. There we go, thank you. Course hierarchy improvements, which is this concept of introducing subsections within a page in Moodle to enable the student to be able to find things easier within their courses. We want to make it easier for educators to create the kinds of courses that they want to create and provide some course templates for people people, as well as improving the quiz user experience. The second big thing that we're going to do under this theme is actually launch a brand new look and feel or a new course experience for Moodle. And this new course experience will be there to support non-formal kind of education. So all Moodles and all learning management systems always kind of look the same. They've got a big header at the top and the menu on the side and the content in the middle. And that's what universities and schools really need. But these days, learning is done in so many different ways. It can be done, you know, in a different kind of more vocational kind of way, or on a topic that's not as formal. So we need a new, more open and more flexible course experience in Moodle. And this is another design by Stefan Schultz. And so you can imagine his landscape approach. We want to be able to offer that straight out of the box from Moodle, really catering to those different kind of learning experiences. And on our roadmap, you can see that coming through from ideas like the blog-based editing theme. So that's going to be allowing people to just drag and drop blocks of functionality within a page much easier than they do today, as well as improved multimedia handling in Moodle. So it's easier to embed voice files and videos and AI content directly into the course page. And then we also want to help by developing more site templates for specific audiences. And then finally, the third kind of subsection under our big theme number 1, which is unlocking creativity, is we want to make it easier for people to share content in Moodle. And so this is another course by Mrs. Speckner. This was a course that she created to help Ukrainian kids who had to immigrate to Germany during the war to learn how to speak German. So she created this in a couple of days, and she wanted to be able to share that with more people in Germany because she knew that this was a common problem. So we've got a lot of work going on making it easier for people to share things across Moodle platforms. You don't have to be at the same university, you can share it with another university. So MoodleNet is our content sharing platform, and we are now, as of 4.3, going to be able to allow people to export whole Moodle courses into MoodleNet and then re-import those into another Moodle instance, making the management of Moodle and the sharing of Moodle courseware way easier. We're also going to be investigating a lot of things, and there's already a lot out there, AI content editing tools, so using AI to add content to Moodle directly in the text editor. And then we're also kicking off a massive piece of work, which is all about how content is managed within the Moodle ecosystem. So that was it. That was development theme number 1, unlocking creativity, and which is all designed to get people to think as Moodle as a product, something that looks good and that gets the job done straight out of the box. Moving on to our theme number 2, facilitating collaboration. And this is when we start thinking about Moodle as a platform. So this is a platform. There we go. Sometimes it's a little slow. This is a platform. You might recognize it as a Lego baseboard. Yes, very good. And it's a base that people can add things to. And by adding things to it, they can create amazing things. By the way, this is not an AI-generated image. It's actually a real Lego install. And it's got something like 250,000 Lego pieces in it. But at the bottom, I don't know if you can see it because of the couches, but at the bottom is just that green base, that green platform that somebody has built this amazing thing on. The Lego ecosystem benefits from 2 advantages that the Moodle platform does not have. The first one is that standard little round bobby at the top and the hole at the bottom that allows you to put those pieces together in the same way every single time. And then the second thing is this wide range of tools that you know you can put together, and they're always going to fit together, and they're going to stay like that long term. Moodle has 2,000 plugins in our ecosystem, but they don't always all fit together the same way. And if something changes on one side, often the other side will break. And so if you're a Moodle administrator in the room, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And that's just the way Moodle's built today. It was kind of grown organically, right? Like it came from so many different contributors and everybody did it a little bit of a different way. And it's a common problem in IT anyway. There's not enough standardization. Now, that's not great for Moodlers generally. And I'll explain why. So we did a survey of our partners globally and some of the organizations that use Moodle. And we asked them, we release every 6 months, as I was saying earlier. And we asked them, so how long do you wait before you upgrade to your next version of Moodle? And more than 60% of them said we take at least 3 months, if not longer. And when you ask them why, they say it's because of the time it takes to update all of the plugins and all of the customizations and all of the integrations that they have with their other systems. All of that takes so long that they have to wait a really, really long time to get the best and newest version of Moodle with all of the new UX designs, all the new functionalities, and even things that really matter like security upgrades. So we need to do better than that. We need to make it easier for people to upgrade to the more recent versions of Moodle. We need to make people like PC Man's job easier because then they have a lot less work to do trying to keep up with all of these things. And so in our roadmap, much of our second theme is all about facilitating that technical collaboration. Make it easier for tools to work together with Moodle. So on our roadmap, that includes improvements that are all focused on the LTI, the use of LTI, so learning tools, which are an external open standard, which is supported across the world. And you know that when you connect in an LTI tool, it's going to use this one standard and stay like that. So we want to make it easier to use LTIs with Moodle. And you can see actually there's 3 different phases of them. We're working on some stuff that's coming out at 4.3 on the 9th of October. And then there's more coming later. And then the other big thing is that we're going to be working on our web services. So the API infrastructure that allows people to connect into Moodle. I'm getting a bit technical, so I won't go into it too much. But we are going to be modernizing our web services infrastructure as well. Under this theme, we also have 2 other items. We are very much looking forward to investigating the opportunity to launching a Moodle marketplace, a place where you can either download very easily for free or purchase for a very low cost Moodle plugins, Moodle themes like the one I was showing you before, the learning map theme, or integrations, Salesforce integrations, for example, directly off a marketplace, much easier to use, much easier to access all of that technology through one place. And then also we are continuing with other external integrations. So if you're using Moodle 4.0 or later, you will know we have an out-of-the-box integration with a video conferencing platform called Big Blue Button. And then we are also in 4.3 going to be launching a native integration with a messaging system called Matrix. And that means straight out of the box you can use and access modern messaging in Moodle. Very excited because both Big Blue Button and Matrix are also open source software, meaning they're free to use and access for the people who want to use them. So that was theme number 2, facilitating collaboration. And that, we're really talking about technical collaboration. How do we make Moodle easier to use with other tools and other solutions? And how do we think about Moodle as a platform where we can all build great things on it together? And then theme number 3 is all about optimizing outcomes. And here we're really talking about optimizing the learning outcomes for each of our key user groups. For learners, this is about helping them achieve their learning goals by providing them with tools to help them optimize and manage their work, optimize their time, get faster feedback learners on their performance, and get access to support when they need it the most. And in this area, we see a huge potential in AI, and I do very much invite you to, as I said, explore the Moodle database of plugins, because today you can already do so much with AI and Moodle. You can integrate it with all of the big AI platforms, ChatGPT, DALL-E, everything is available there. And we really see AI as a really important place where learners will get more dedicated support and more direct feedback, and be able to save time and effort. And we can see a lot of potential for that on the Moodle roadmap as well. For educators, it's again about saving time and saving effort. How do we reduce the administrative burden of learning so that people can focus more on actually just learning things? And that's really what we're trying to do a lot. And we also want to give educators more information so that they can target their efforts and say, okay, I'm seeing a student who's struggling here, because I've got the data, I've got the analytics available to me to know that information. I'm going to focus on their work. So for educators, it's really about helping them achieve those outcomes. And for Moodle administrators, we want to make the platform easier to maintain, easier to operate, cheaper to run, and easier to administer. So that's it. Those are our 3 key development themes: unlocking creativity, facilitating collaboration, and optimizing outcomes. Now coming for some of the stuff that you might not love to hear. Firstly, some of this work won't be happening all that fast. And that's because if you've been working with Moodle for a little while, you know that Moodle's a 20-year-old platform. We've been building it for a really, really long time. And so at the base of it, the underlying code underneath it needs to be modernized. Now, often modernizing something, what it means is you have to refactor the code. And when you do that, it takes a little while to do that work. So if you're looking at it on the surface, you might go, oh, well, things haven't changed that much. But you've got to believe me, underneath, we're modernizing all of the software that Moodle sits on to make it easier to operate and to keep it healthy for a long time to come. The other thing is some of the work that we're going to be doing is not that cool. I mean, let's face it, fixing up APIs, if you're a technical person, you'll know, fixing up APIs is not very cool. I mean, APIs have a very fundamental problem in the world of technology today. It's called the letter P. It makes them so uncool, because it's all about AIs today, not APIs, right? But in having really modern APIs is really, really fundamental in terms of the technical health of a platform. So we have to invest in that platform so that it's modern for the future and we can use it for the future, 20 years to come. Been here for 20 years, we wanted to be here for 20 more. And finally, it's going to be a lot of work. But this is where I'm very hopeful, because there's a lot of work to do, but we can all join in and do it together if you want to. You can help Moodle get to where we want to be. 3 ways to do that. I'm going to show these QR codes quickly, so you might want to get out your phone if you're interested. If you go to this QR code location, you will get access to a booklet version of the Moodle product vision. So everything I was talking about, but more in writing type style, so that you can read it for yourself and digest it for yourself at your own pace. And I've also included a copy of the Moodle product playbook. This is exclusive to MoodleMoot attendees, so we don't share this to the rest of the world. And in that playbook, you'll see all of our processes about how we work at Moodle HQ, how we build the Moodle product, and who we are, like all the people who work there. So by accessing that playbook, you can feel like you're part of the team for a long time to come. Next one is a link to our Moodle Experience Lab. Now,